So decided I'm gonna go ahead and grab a wheelbarrow, and I'm gonna mix everything inside the wheelbarrow, make it a little bit easier to mix everything up and scoop it out with a shovel. So I have to go back and behind the shed. You know, we all have that one area of the garden that's sort of our dumping ground, and this is ours. So not too bad. I mean, I just have all my tools, just trying to be organized and have them hanging on the fence, but I couldn't fit them all. And here's our ugly area, which just has a few things, some ladders and things that we didn't want to keep in the garage and take up space in there. So a little bit of tidying up, nothing bad. But anyway, let's get back to planting our fiddle leaf, and I'm gonna grab my nice pretty yellow wheelbarrow.
Never thought too hard about it, always came naturally to me. Never put a foot out of line, and I tried not to make any awkward statements. Always tried to be a good neighbor, waiting for the right time to speak. Now it seems the tables are smashed into tiny little pieces. I only want a slice of the pie. And all my time in this town, never thought I'd see the day you and I would come to blows. Think I'm gonna keep it that way. We don't have to think the same way to celebrate and dance until the dawn. It's always been a puzzle, I guess. So let's break a little bread and remember what I said. Come on.
So the soil's not that bad, but what happens is when you have too much organic material at the bottom, it almost becomes like just too soggy, and it can give you root rot. So you have to be careful with that. And it doesn't look terrible, but honestly the roots on the actual plant look stunted. So I'm thinking that, yeah, we just need to loosen that up a little. Just kind of seems like a really shallow root base for such a big plant. So I'm gonna wake that up a little bit and then add some soil. Let's see if we can get those roots going again. The fertilizer that I have does help stimulate those roots. So I think it's a good choice to go ahead and add some really good beneficial microbes to the soil. All right, so now I'm just gonna stick all that back in there.
I only want a slice of the pie. I like to think we're getting somewhere. Now let's break a little bread so that we can say we gave it a try. I really hope we're getting somewhere. We're just tiny little pieces, a twinkle in somebody's sky.
Stop the battle within your soul. You know it's all in your head.
So this plant is from my husband's office. So I'm gonna go ahead and really make this look pretty for him. He's got a bunch of little plants in there, and I think having them all in one pot will make it easier for him to go ahead and water. Because there's a lot of watering with smaller pots. So I like to marry them up into one big pot. You just have one thing to water. So this is what it looks like so far. And like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and put some little decorative plants in there and try to make it look a little more lively and easier to maintain. Let's go find some plants. All right, I found some plants. So these are some plants that I've had for other jobs and for markets that we've done. And they're all in various shapes. Yeah, that sounds right. All right, so here they are. Some of them are struggling along, but I'm gonna stick them all in the pot. I mean, they all have new growth, so that's encouraging. I just think they need to get out of these pots and taken care of better. Get some fertilizer in them. Get some of these dead pieces off. Removing, I mean, plants have a natural cycle of dead leaves. It doesn't mean you're doing anything especially wrong. Sometimes they just need to die off to put out new growth. So don't freak out. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get these planted into here. Okay, so nothing hard. Just gonna pop these out, kind of wake up and wiggle out those roots. This doesn't have a whole lot of soil, so I think that could be a little bit of an issue with why it wasn't performing great. But it has lots of good soil now. So we're gonna tuck those in there. We may have to take some of these off. Yeah. Can you see the soil? It's like literally just dry. Not great. So it's going to be a very happy plant to have a little bit more space to spread. I mean, this already broke out into 2 pieces. So there you go. You could either stick them all back together, or you can grow a whole nother plant. I'm going to go ahead and put everything in here because I'm not really wanting to have more pots to water. We have just really harsh summers. I'm trying to make things as easy as I can as far as gardening, because my plan is to get out of here during the hot summer months to cooler places. I mean, look, there's hardly any soil. And the roots are kind of dry and weird feeling, so I really needed this, y'all. I mean, this is just nothing. There's no nutrition left in that soil. But we'll go ahead and mix it in with the good stuff. This is going a long way. Especially since they break up in 2s. Give you a little less space between them. It'll be really cute. I think I'm gonna pull that off. Oh, look, this one has no soil. Look at that, it's all root. It's not really wanting to come apart, but I'm gonna wiggle them, get those roots stimulated. I don't see anywhere. I don't wanna stress it out even more. So we're gonna go ahead and leave that one intact. Let's put her here. We're gonna add lots of good nutrient-rich soil. It's a little nicer. It's almost like the plants are thanking you. I mean, night and day difference. I'm happy for the plant, actually. Kind of sorry I didn't intervene sooner, but this is why I don't like overbuying plants, because it's a lot of work to try to keep everybody in control. And planting a lot of plants in one planter is like my way of controlling how many plants I have to pot up. I'm gonna remove this. It's bothering me actually, but I'm gonna pop it off. I'm probably gonna get more leaves right there. And I'm also gonna see if I can root this. So I'm going to remove those leaves from the bottom. I'm gonna stick that into some soil and see if I can not start out a new plant. Even though I said I didn't want more plants, I gotta at least give it a try and give it a chance. So I removed all the lower leaves. I still have this guy here. So I'm gonna go ahead, I might even stick it in a little bit of water for a while, see if I can get it to root propagate, and see if I can't get that to grow. Maybe give it to a friend or something, or a neighbor. People always appreciate plants, especially free ones. All right, guys, so I'm gonna water this in and see how that does. But I think it looks better already, and with a little bit watering in all that nutrient-rich soil. Sorry, I just burped. So we're gonna have all that nutrient-rich soil just kind of soak in and gather at the roots. Just don't overwater. I'm gonna give it a nice sprinkle, rinse down these leaves, and get all these caterpillars and spider mites, or whatever it is, not caterpillars, spider mites off, or cobwebs. I'm not really sure what it is, but I think it's gonna look better, and I'll definitely post a video later and show you how it's reacting to its new home. All right, so I set the plant here, and y'all, I know I might be overthinking this, but this is kind of bothering me. And so I'm gonna pluck this off too. I guess what I'm going for is more of a tree form, and this is completely up to you and how you do this. But I'm plucking another one off, and I'm gonna tree form that a little bit more. And then I'm gonna take this piece, and guess what? Guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna make more plants. We're gonna make more plants. So we have 2 new fiddles that we can try to propagate and see how we do with that. All right, so we're gonna give this a really good rinsing. Try to get all those cobwebs off. I don't want to overwater it, so I think what I'm going to do is just let the water that falls down from me hitting the fiddle leaf just fall into the pot. So I don't overwater it. I don't want it to be soggy. And I'm kind of being brave. I don't have a drainage bowl, I know, but I'm trying to make it easy. We'll see. I can always do it later, but let's just see. Alright, so that's that. I just think that that's going to be a lot prettier. Everything's together. We've made literally 5 plants into 1. So that's 5 less pots that we have to water. Plus they'll dry out a lot less fast. And I like to do just sort of when I water, I like to put a little bit of fertilizer in there. So I like to use Super Thrive or any kind of like seaweed type of a fertilizer. I put like a little capsule in each watering. So I water just a little bit every single time, and that really works out really well for my indoor plants. So I don't do like a harsh, one-time seasonal fertilizer. It's just more of like a light, mild, ongoing fertilizer. And this has been really, really good for me, and especially for like my maintenance jobs that I do. So it's already really hot. I'm glad I got that done, and I'm glad that you were here, and I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you can try to do some of these little tricks that I do with my house plants and putting things together to try to make a little bit less work for it, but still get a really good result. You get to enjoy all these plants, but you don't necessarily have to have them in 50 million pots. Go ahead and bring those pots together, make one really pretty pot. It gives you a little bit more opportunity to design a planter instead of having a bunch of pots. And pots can get really expensive, so just buy one big one and stuff all the plants you can into it and enjoy it. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Appreciate you being here. Have a great day.